Welcome back to the weekly news roundup, and our second topic for the day is digital necromancy. Yes, we are bringing people back from the grave using all of that AI and utilizing all of that sweet data and sweet electricity. And sometimes these are for questionable cases. Sometimes these are for outright horrifying cases. And some of these are things that yours truly predicted when I wrote my book, Code Red, a couple years ago. So let's go ahead and start in with bringing people back from the grave. And of course, when you go out into a courtroom and you have some issue and the courts are like, yeah, we didn't have a victim statement, like somebody dies, and then the family will come up and talk about what this death and what this impact happened. Well, what if you can just use AI to bring the dead guy back to present his own case in court? Yeah, if you guys didn't see this, this was from almost a year ago. This is May of 2025. A family shows an AI video of a slain victim in an impact statement, possibly a legal first. So for 2 years, Stacey Wells kept a running list of everything she would say at the sentencing hearing of the man who killed her brother in a road rage incident in Chandler, Arizona. That's when the idea came to her to use artificial intelligence to generate a video of how her late brother, Christopher Pelkey, would address the courtroom and specifically the man who fatally shot him. Since the sentencing hearing, Horakis's attorney, Jason Lamb, has filed a notice of appeal. He said he agreed that the victims have an unfettered right to share their views at sentencing. The issue, however, is to what extent did the trial judge rely on an AI video fashioned in a sentence? So the legal question here is obviously you can do reenactments. The question is, can you use AI to bring a person back from the dead and put words into his mouth that he didn't actually say? That is a good legal question because the laws in the courts, okay, they have to have a very, very stringent set of rules because if anything could potentially lead to any form of reasonable doubt, it means an immediate acquittal. And so because of this AI video, it's possible that this guy could actually get away with the crime. I'll just play just a brief minute here of, not even a minute, just a brief few seconds of the video. So this is uploaded by his family.
Hello.
If it plays, there you go.
Just to be clear for everyone seeing this, I am a version of Chris Pelkey recreated through AI that uses my picture and my voice profile. I was able to be digitally regenerated to share with you today.
Okay, so you can see it's not trying to dupe anybody. It starts out by saying, I am AI, I am created. And the question is, though, can they do this and put words into his mouth? Is this not leading a witness? Because this isn't words he said. This isn't words he wrote in a journal. This is words his family put together and put to this. And the judge is like, wow, this is the coolest thing I've ever seen. And the defense attorney says, that's interesting. That sounds like a grounds for an appeal. Okay. And so I don't know, and I don't really want to leave a comment one way or the other about it. I just wanted to point out that AI is being used to bring dead people back to life. And that is certainly a case where it has been used. Now, of course, we also mentioned this briefly in November of 2025, where what's this guy's name again? Worthy. Is it Chris Worthy? I don't know. Whoever, Charlie Worthy, somebody worthy, somebody who's not worthy of this nonsense, who is a Disney Channel star in Austin and Alley, posted an ad for two-way on X, which has gone viral, racking up 22 million views. And fortunately, most people are going, this is creepy. All right. So what the idea here is that this two-way app is you go in with your family and you just, or yourself, you do your family, and you do a 3-minute video, all those different things that you need to verify your face with all of the AI, whatever kind of stuff. And it creates an AI avatar. Then, of course, you can feed this in with all of your posts and all the things you say, talking, anything like this. And then the app then The app then is used to create a digital avatar for that person that you can basically do a video chat with that person. And so in the actual video here, and I don't know if they're going to copyright claim this with the music and all this, but you can kind of see the text at the bottom of the screen. It's this lady kind of talking here. Let me just unmute it for just a second, just so you can hear a little bit of the. Oh, hold on.
It feels like he's dancing in there. Oh.
Okay, so here she's having this video conversation with an AI version of her mother. The baby's born, and apparently somewhere around here she dies. And then in the future, is that? Oh no, I'm sorry. I got pissed off. Okay. In the future now, she's talking to the kid. Now he's like 12 or 13, talking about basketball. Ooh, the crush. Oh no, stop talking. I don't want to do that. And now 30 years later, he's still talking to his dead grandmother about the baby. And now, of course, it ends with that, you got to have this perfect story where everything just kind of loops back and forth perfectly, right? And so it loops in with, oh, put your hand on her tummy and hum. You used to love that, Did it really used to love that? We don't really know. We didn't really get any insight, but you can see that this person's here talking to his dead family member years and years later. And this raises a lot of concerns. In fact, I didn't actually pull, or maybe it was maybe it was in this one. Yeah, it was in this article here. So, overall, the chief critics looking at these, objectively one of the most evil ideas imaginable, demonic, dishonest, and dehumanizing. My values die with me. I'm not a avatar. And others suggest that this profits off of grief and can only be an unhealthy way for people to deal with loss. As psychologists have actually said, there's a Black Mirror episode that apparently follows the same story. How does it work? It creates a digital avatar. Okay, so this is not actually the other article I read. No, it was a video I watched with a psychologist about this, and she's mentioning the entire situation here is you have this type of avatar, and the problem with this particular avatar is that you can continue talking to somebody after they die, and if you do that, you fail to walk through the grief process. You internalize it, and then you are now a future star of an episode of Hoarders. If you ever watch Hoarders, you know that Hoarders, the episode on Hoarders is almost everybody there got that way because they are not dealing with grief properly. And it is a fundamental thing. You have to learn to deal with grief appropriately. I mean, my cat just died not too long ago. I had the cat for 15 years. I love that cat. In fact, of the two cats, I like that cat more. Sorry, Kitty. The remaining one. She's crazy, but I like her. I like her in her own way. But the other one, snuggle with you. He's always there. He's always sleeping with you. He's always there, And if I just do whatever I can to just keep that cat alive. Maybe I have a fake stuffed animal of a cat and it's robotized and it's over there purring and I wake up every morning and it's sleeping by my head. Don't move beyond that grief process. Okay. Of course, when the cat first dies, it's kind of upsetting. And, I changed for the first time in 5 years, I changed my computer desktop to put the cat on the desktop. And now like, because I'm a healthy and emotionally healthy person, and I've moved beyond it. It's like, I'm not like saddened by it any longer. I'm thinking maybe I should change the picture back to what it was before. I don't know. But the thing is that you have to learn to appropriately move beyond grief. And that's a problem. Now, of course, this brings up what Facebook. It turns out that Facebook actually has a patent that allows the AI to take over your account when you die and keep posting forever. Now, is this posting beyond the grave to prevent the grief? Or is this Facebook just saying, hey, maybe we should employ this onto accounts that are successful because they keep on drawing people back here and we make money, and there's too many questions about what's going on. Now, they do actually say in here, at least they flip-flopped on this. At one point in time, Mark Zuckerberg was in interviews saying, this is an amazing thing and we all need this kind of stuff. And, there is one situation where he's saying that. And then the other hand, he's like, I don't know, we don't have any plans to do this. We just hold the patent for it, which is true. Are they going to implement it or not? Well, honestly, the one way they have suggested to implement this is they could offer this to people. You could pay for it. And if you want to take maybe a month-long vacation, you can train the AI for a couple months on what you're doing, and then you just set it to turn on. You go on your vacation. Your AI thing keeps on going, generating content, even though you're not actually doing it. You can come back and you've never skipped a post. That's one way of doing it. But then what happens if you turn this on, you die, and then the thing just keeps on going and going ad infinitum? It gets to that point where, the dead internet theory is a real thing. Not only is it just a bunch of random bots creating stuff, it's also a bunch of dead bots creating stuff. It's like bots and dead people is going to be populating the entire internet. What is going on in our world? So dormant accounts be left alone, or should loved ones be able to maintain them as digital memorials? This is a good question. I personally think the accounts should go into a memorial phase. Maybe give the family a week or two to post something on there, and then they go into a memorial phase, and the family can either choose to take them down or just keep them up as a memorial. Okay. Digital memorials. I don't know how I think about that one either, but I am definitely better with digital memorials than AI bots taking over your account when you die. Okay. If we're going to hash these things out, digital memorials, okay. AI bots taking over, not okay. This is moving into creepy. Training an AI model on deceased users' posts, keeping post-mortem accounts active by uploading new content in their voice long after passed away, that could be a morbid alternative. So Meta was granted a patent in 2023 for the idea outlining how a large language model can simulate users' social media activity. And the simulating user when their user is absent from social media network is what they proposed. However, AI slop has infiltrated it and practically assumed control over platforms like Facebook and Instagram. Meta now says it's given up on the sepulchre concept. But the problem is that they've already come into countless examples of AI being used to emulate dead people, from the grandmother who is resurrected for her funeral to the grief tech startups. Of course, we mentioned the AI for the courtroom. I didn't actually see the AI resurrected for the funeral. I missed that one. Wonderful. So the digital clone of the deceased person would have been able to interact with people through likes and comments and even DMs, according to the patent. So yes, now the bot representing the dead guy is going to DM you. No, thank you. I will be okay with following the Bible stance of let's abolish necromancy. Okay. I don't know if necromancy was specifically in there, but certain forms of sorcery were. Mere existence of the patent highlights how companies were, in many ways still are, throwing everything to the wall to discover new cases for LLMs and how far they're willing to go. So Zuckerberg even suggested that lonely users could make friends with the company's bots instead of having friends with living humans. I mean, I got 30 friends. I mean, 15 of them are made up bots by Facebook, and the other 15 are just dead people. I've just never moved on. There's also probably the extent to which could become unhealthy, he admitted. But the problem is that as people die off and Facebook's not necessarily something of younger generation, engagement drops, the money loses core business, which is selling ads, and that could take a hit. But, if they can just keep on those few profitable accounts, keep on posting, they can keep on selling them sweet ads. I have a sneaky suspicion if it comes down to it, they're going to be doing this, especially since we're going to be looking at some of the current court cases Meta's involved in. And yeah, it's kind of the case there. One of the tasks of grief is to face actual loss, University of Virginia sociology professor Johnny Davis told, is it BL, whoever that is, let the dead be dead. I completely agree. Now, I did mention I do have a book, Code Red, and this is a collection of short stories, and the first short story in this, called Digital Madness, is exactly about the negative consequences of this happening in real-world situations, because people in our society are becoming more psychotic as it comes on, and I'm talking clinically. It is a fundamental truth. More people have mental issues now, and I think a lot of it is because of social media and things. But what happens if a parent, like going back to our Kellium Worthy video here, going back to this woman here who then immortalizes her mother in an AI and now passes this out to this kid. I want you to imagine what happens if this kid doesn't even know that grandmother is dead and just thinks they don't have enough money to go visit her. And now he grows up his whole life thinking that. What would be the downstream consequences of that kid's psyche going forward? And then you have to ask the question, well, that sounds absurd. Yes, but dysfunctional families do very absurd things all the time. And it raises this fundamental question, what would happen? And that is the exact question I tackle in this story, Digital Madness. Now, you can get this anywhere you buy books online. You can just look up Code Red. Of course, you can see the name there. If you go to tlm.li/Code Red, you can get the ISBN numbers if you want to copy and paste that in. If you have Spotify, you can actually listen to Code Red in your Spotify account there as well, by the way. And that story is Digital Madness. And all of the stories in there are excellent stories. That one here deals with specifically this individual topic. So Code Red by Thomas Murawski, tlm.li/Code Red, all one word. And you can get the ISBNs and a few links are in there. And you can get it anywhere you can get books online. But there's a few populated links there already. So thanks for watching. Let me know what you think about all of this digital necromancy in the comments.